Canadians want an election. Canadians are fed up. And maybe I'm misspeaking here and I shouldn't be talking on your behalf, but based off of the millions of monthly viewers on this channel and on Mistersunshinebaby and all other channels in this, niche here in Canada, it seems like everybody is fed up. And when it comes time to vote, people will be voting with their wallets. It doesn't matter if you are on board for some whatever delusional reason with either liberal policies or NDP policies. You cannot sustainably afford this type of lifestyle. Groceries are through the roof. It doesn't make any sense. Gas is overly priced. Other countries around the world want our gas except for our own government. It doesn't make any sense. The only ones that want to actually make life more affordable here in Canada is somehow the Conservatives. It's insane. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I, of course, want to encourage everyone to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. It does really help grow the channel. And maybe you've heard me say this on recent videos, maybe not, but I'll say it again just to remind you that once this channel reaches over 100,000 subscribers, I will personally be going to Ottawa to watch one of the next question periods live in person up in the viewing gallery. I am very excited for that. So if you'd like for, that opportunity to happen, if you'd like to see the whole process involved with that, then I highly recommend you subscribe and turn those bell notifications on. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a Pierre, Poilievre, and Justin Trudeau debate over the climate, or the climate tax, the carbon tax. Whoopsie, almost had a bit of a slip up. And Pierre goes out on a limb and calls Justin Trudeau a fake and a phony. And of course, Trudeau throws a little bit of a tantrum and the house gets pretty rowdy. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy this clip as much as I have.
Not only did the parliamentary budget officer testify that the majority of households will pay more in carbon taxes than they will get back in rebates, there is a table showing that every single province in which this tax applies, the middle-class families pay vastly more than they get back, and Canadians know it, because under this Prime Minister, they've seen their food, their fuel, their homes, their heating go through the roof. But why don't we just end the debate and let Canadians decide and have a carbon tax election?
The parliamentary budget officer clearly spelled out that 8 out of 10 Canadian families in areas where the price on pollution applies get more money back every year than they pay in the price on pollution. That's because we created a plan that not only is one of the strongest plans to fight climate change in the world, but it puts more money back in the pockets of middle-class Canadians as we build a stronger future, better careers, more competitiveness, and a safer environment for generations to come. That's the plan we have. That's not what they're doing.
The $60 million Arrive scam is just the tip of the iceberg. We now learn that there are $5 million in additional fraud that has been identified by the Department of Public Procurement. And this is out of the $21 billion the Prime Minister is now spending on outside consultants, a 100% increase, and fully with the support of the NDP. Can the Prime Minister tell us how much of this $21 billion is fraud?
The situation is obviously unacceptable, which is why authorities are looking into this procurement process. Anyone who took advantage of our COVID response to save Canadian lives should face consequence. All federal contracts with these companies have been suspended as the investigation continues. But everyone in this House noticed how quickly he pivoted from a question on Ukraine. The reality is, Mr. Speaker, his members are ashamed of him for forcing him to vote against Ukrainian Canadians, to vote against Ukraine, to vote against support that the Ukrainian president was asking for.
Prime Minister demonstrates once again he is a fake and he is a phony, because he's a fake and
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition is a very experienced member of Parliament, and I know that he would understand that that kind of a statement that directed to an individual would not be considered parliamentary. So I'll ask the honourable member to continue with this question.
The Prime Minister is a fake and a phony on this issue, just like on everything else. He sends
The honourable member, again, is a very experienced member, and he knows that when the Speaker asks him to chastise us a little bit for the use of language which is not considered parliamentary, I'd ask him please to rephrase, withdraw those comments, rephrase the question without using those words.
Mr. Speaker, this is a Prime Minister who authorized the export of gas turbines to pump gas from Putin's economy into Europe to fund the war. He's someone who signed on to allow Russian detonators to blow up Ukrainians on the battlefield, and he's a pro-Russia energy policy to fund the Russian economy. We'll take no less.
Is pretty weak sauce from the leader of the opposition. The reality is, President Zelensky.
I see that the opposition House Leader is asking members to be calm. I'm going to ask all House Leaders to please ask all of your members from all sides to be calm. So, and I'll ask in particular the member from Dufferin Caledon, please, to hold on until he has the time to speak. So, the Honourable Prime Minister, please.
Mr. Speaker, the leader of the opposition is flailing in every way he can to try and divert the attention from the fact that his members voted against a request by President Zelensky himself to support a Canada-Ukraine free trade deal. The reality is, his constituents across the country feel betrayed by the Conservative Party voting against Ukraine.
The Ukrainians asked for us to give missiles that Conservatives support to Ukraine, not to give turbines and detonators to Russia, which is what he has done. He has failed Ukrainians abroad, and he's failed Canadians at home. Canadians are good and decent people. They don't have to live this way. They do not have to give up the things they used to take for granted, like affordable food and homes, all for the incompetence and ego of one man. He is not worth the cost or the corruption. Will he call a carbon tax election so Canadians can decide?
Desperate he is to try and find any excuse he can to justify their voting against Ukraine. And suddenly, he's not talking about the price on pollution that Ukraine put in itself years ago. He's not using that as an excuse, even though that was all we heard as the justification for why they voted against Ukraine, voted against Ukrainian Canadians, voted against the reconstruction of Ukraine that we are committed to through a free trade agreement. He stood in this House and voted against Ukraine and is now trying to do anything he can to hide from it. He let down Ukraine, and that showed who he is.
That's where we're going to end today's video. Folks, I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Is Justin Trudeau, according to what Pierre Poilievre said, a fake and a phony, or is Trudeau somehow the real deal? If you're saying down in the comments that he's the real deal, I feel like you've lost your way somewhere on the YouTube algorithm, and maybe this channel is not right for you. Anyways, that's where we're going to end it. I'd like to encourage everyone on their way out to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet already, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.